Hey yo, what's going on guys? It's Superior Moon and welcome back to another video. So today guys, I'm going to be ranking all of the Treyarch Zombies maps, or at least the majority of them, because I actually haven't played every single one of them. So first off, what I want to do is I kind of want to go over the ones I haven't really played. So I haven't played Dead of the Night, Ancient Evil, Togdur and Toten. I've barely played Alpha Omega, and I haven't played Call of the Dead. I already have 3 of them in the haven't played. The other ones weren't on this list, but this one's really well made because it actually has the titles on the map, so it looks really clean. And yeah, and also they don't have certain maps that have been remade. For example, 5, there's no classified, and I do not see the Giant on here, so I'm going to count that as both. So anyways guys, let's just get right into it. And this is 100% opinion based. I will be I might do in the future like a professional list of this after I played all of them, and I might do like a real deep analysis of them once I played them a lot more. I kind of want to play a lot more Black Ops 4 Zombies because I didn't even play really any of it, to be honest. But yeah, I'm probably going to be streaming that a lot here on YouTube and probably on Twitch, depending on which one I will do it on. But I'll let you guys know. But anyways, let's begin. So I don't know if I should go in order of like this, but I guess I should just pick out random ones. So why don't I pick out one that is, well, let's start off with like 9. 9 is a pretty interesting map. It's a really good map, and I think I'm gonna put an A tier. The thing about this map is that for Black Ops 4, it is a really perfect map. It's like the best map, like kind of like for the perk system as well. How they set up all the perks, like because you go to like different areas and you have like the different gods and stuff like that, and kind of like the themes of like the areas we have to go to in 9. It's like a really amazing setup, and for every other map it just doesn't really feel the same, and 9 is just really fun. I did really like it a lot. I don't know, man, just the map and just kind of how it is just really amazing, and I really wish this could have been on Black Ops 3, but I don't think Treyarch is going to do that because, I mean, I just don't see them doing it. You know, they could make the easiest amount of money ever, but they probably won't do it. Alright, so now that we have an A tier map, let's go for we're gonna go for like a hot take here. So I think a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this, but I think I'm gonna put the I'm gonna do the World at War Zombies maps. So I want to put Noct, and this is gonna be including Zombies Chronicles. So I'm gonna be honest, Nocturne and Tone probably would have been in an F tier or a D tier. The thing is though, is that I know it's the first map, and I know a lot of people have nostalgia for it, but I'm gonna be doing no nostalgia. So this is just gonna be on straight up how the map is, and I don't care when it came out. So it probably would have been an F tier just because it's a really boring map. It is kind of fun with friends, but after like round 20, you know, I'm just kind of like, bruv. I think with Zombies Chronicles it actually makes it a lot more fun because you actually have perks. You could get pack-a-punch guns. You know, obviously you have to use gobble gums for the pack-a-punch guns, but there's a one-of-his machine, so you can get perks. And it's just really fun. So I think I might put it in C tier. That might change. And then next it'll probably be Verrucht. Oh my gosh, my PC, jeez. Verrucht I'm probably gonna put also there as well. And with Shinonuma, I think Shinonuma is probably the better of the 3 in World at War. But it's probably not the best. I think it's better than Verrucht in my opinion. I do like Verrucht, it's just a little bit too close quarters, and Shinonuma is kind of spread out more. And actually, I think I might do that. I think Shinonuma is probably the best because at World at War you could actually get high rounds on, which is something very fun for me to do. Like, if I'm not doing an Easter egg on a map, then I'm pretty much just going to be going for high rounds. And this is the best map to go for high rounds. Noctis is a little bit harder to do, and Verrucht is just impossible. Okay, so now I want to go to a map that I'm definitely going to be putting in F tier. And I have, it's got to be Transit. So Transit, the thing about it is that there's just so many problems with it that really affect it. I'm not putting Transit in F tier because, you know, I'm being a bandwagon and just, you know, everyone hates it, so I'm gonna put it there. It literally is bad. There's so many bad things about it. So first off, you know, buildables. Buildables were a great idea, just not executed right. You know, like the turbine, like the turbine's really cool, but you have to use it for pack-a-punch, and if you're playing solo, there's a really good chance you're not gonna be able to pack a punch. I'm gonna be honest, I've never packed a punch on transit. That's probably because I haven't really ever tried to, but it's like, I'm not gonna go through that process. I'm only gonna get to like round 15, round 20 on transit, you know, with random people, I don't care, and then I'm calling it quits. The wonder weapon, the jet gun, it is very difficult to use. I mean, I've heard like, yeah, it can be pretty good if you know how to use it, but the fact that the wonder weapon can break, not run out of ammo, but just break and you have to go get it again. I think you just go back to the buildable place and get it back. But also being able to get it is just really difficult. You have to go to a bunch of different places and then build the parts. And I believe you can only carry one part at a time. And then what else is there? The bus, you know, it doesn't leave when you want it to, and it leaves when you don't want it to. So basically there's like a lot of problems with that. And just pretty much everything about the map is just not really that good. I could talk about the fog, denizens, and lava, but those were kind of in the game to slow down the player so the map wasn't, you know, just crash. And yeah, so that's why I'm putting transit in F tier. If it was like remastered on Black Ops 3, I think it probably would have been an A tier. I'm not even kidding. If they fixed a lot of its issues, probably A tier or even S tier. I don't even know, bro. Alright. So I think it's time for an S tier map. Probably the most obvious one of them all is going to be Der Eisendrache. I have really no explanation to like why I have to say is S tier because pretty much everyone knows. If you play zombies, you know why Der Eisendrache is number 1. Basically it's like Origins but better. It's like Origins created the idea, but Der Eisendrache perfected it. The storyline, the Easter egg, the bows, the atmosphere, and the place you're at is just so cool. You know, being in a medieval castle, it's just something amazing for a zombies map. That's what I really love about Treyarch zombie maps, is that they take you to a bunch of cool, interesting places, when the majority of other ones just kind of take you to facilities, and that's something really boring. Like Der Eisendrache, it's kind of a facility because it's like with you know, group 935, but you're in a medieval castle. You're not like in like a building. You know, it's a lot different. The bows are amazing. By far my favorite is the lightning bow, but probably one of the coolest bows ever to get is definitely the wolf bow. The whole like how it had like a story behind it, you know, you're kind of learning about the story as you go, and every single time I was getting the wolf bow, I would kind of like learn something new about the story, and I would kind of pay attention to a new part of the story. You know, like when you're doing the paintings, you're kind of like, oh yeah, you could see kind of like how the story went through. You know, there's this guy with his dog, or his wolf, I mean. And then, you know, you kind of see him go into battle, stuff like that, and eventually he dies, and then you go up and like where you're about to get the arrow, the like completed arrow, you actually have, it's like him dead and he's giving it to you, and the wolf is just standing there. It's a really sad story, but it's just something so cool. And yeah, I could go on and on about Der Eisendrache and why it's so good, but yeah, it's an obvious S tier. Okay, so next up here, let's go. So let's see here. I've done a Black Ops 2, I've done a World at War, Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3. We have to do a Black Ops 1 map, and I think one I'm gonna do is gonna be Kino der Toten, where I can find it. Alright, here's Kino der Toten. So Kino der Toten, I'm not gonna let nostalgia blind me. It's gotta be in the top of C tier or probably the bottom of B tier. The thing about Kino is that it is a classic map. It's basically what I would consider like another Der Riese. It's like a Black Ops 1 version of Der Riese. Kino der Toten is just a really good map. The Thunder Gun, it's the introduction of the Thunder Gun. It's definitely one of my favorite wonder weapons to use. And training on the stage is just such a classic thing. It's really fun to do. Black Ops 3 version of Kino, I mean, I don't really see anything different. It's pretty much the same thing. It's really cool. It's a good map, you know. Obviously not like the top tiers, you know. If this was back like during Black Ops 2, we had no Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3, although I don't really think Black Ops 4 really influenced much. But if we did have Black Ops 3, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would put Kino in the A tier, like in their top 5 favorite maps. But I'm putting it probably like in my top 15 favorite. I don't know. I think I'll eventually do like a whole switching around after I'm done here. Alright, so let's finish off World at War with Der Riese / the Giant. So I think Der Riese on its own is such a great map. It's definitely a like top of B tier, maybe bottom of A tier map. But with the Giant, it kind of makes it a little bit better because it's just having that Black Ops vibe to it with the engine and stuff. It just makes it so much better. So I think I'm gonna put it here in A tier. Definitely one of my top 10 favorite maps of all time. And yeah, I don't really see it being an S tier because it doesn't have a lot going for it. Like, it doesn't have like a full-fledged Easter egg, and it doesn't really have like it's not really that big of a map. It's kind of, it's a map that really isn't like the newer zombies maps where they're just like full of like content. And yeah, so I'm putting it in like bottom of A tier. All right, next up here. So finish off World at War. Let's do another Black Ops 1 map, shall we? Let's see here. Let's go with a pretty controversial map. Let's go Shangri-La. Now Shangri-La, I'm gonna be honest, I have a really hard time choosing which one's better. I love the Black Ops 3 version of Shang, and I also really love the Black Ops 1 version. So I think I'm probably gonna put it in B tier. I don't know if it's better than Kino though. I don't know. I think it might be. But here's the thing. Shangri-La is one of those maps that PhD Flopper was perfect for. It's a close quarters map, and there's a lot of explosive stuff in Black Ops 1. Like, you have the crossbow, you know, you can pack a bunch of pistols to get, you know, the, what was it, Mustang and Sally's. I almost forgot that. That was stupid. You also have the ray gun, stuff like that. You know, it is just amazing to be able to use that, and this map was perfect for it. The Easter egg's also really cool as well with Eclipse mode. That is amazing. You know, to play zombies maps like where it's open and then like it just gets dark, it's just really cool because most of the time you're inside of like a building most of the time, you know. And then when you have a map like Shang, when it's like open, like just normal beautiful skies like during the day, you know, you could actually change it to dark, and it just changes the whole vibe and it makes it look so cool. And Shang, I just think it's a fun map. It's a map that always brings a challenge, and I think that's why it's so good. You know, there's obviously maps that are like challenging and that a lot of people don't like, but I think Shang just kind of makes it right because there's so many things about it that make it hard. But if you master Shangri-La, you are probably like one of the best zombies players ever. I'm just being honest, because this is such a tough map to get to like round 100 on, or even round 50. Like round 50 on Black Ops 1 Shang is pretty impressive. Even getting to round 100 is very impressive as well. So I think I'm gonna put Shang in B tier. And yeah. So next up here, let's do a Black Ops 2 map. Black Ops 2 Die Rise. I'm gonna put Die Rise in D tier. I think it's definitely a lot better than Transit. Just because of the fact that Die Rise, it's something unique. It's very unique. I know Transit's unique, but a lot of its uniqueness kind of falls flat. With Die Rise, it does fall flat, but I don't think it's too bad. I think that it having like verticality in the game is just something cool, and I think needs to be added maybe a little bit more, because we've never had a map like it, and I just think it's just something very cool about it. And I don't know, it's like I want to like Die Rise, but at the same time I don't. You know, the Slicker Fire is definitely a fun wonder weapon to use. It's a very fun wonder weapon, especially when it was pre-patched. I never played it pre-patched version, but watching, you know, people just shooting it once and then the round ends is just the funniest thing ever. And yeah, and it's definitely a map that was pretty cool. I don't know, I'm just gonna put it in D tier because I just there's some cool things about it, but just the majority of it just isn't that good. And yeah, so now let's go for the Black Ops 3 map. Let's see here. Let's see, I should probably, what map should I do? I don't even know what to do. I think we're gonna do Shadows of Evil. I think Shadows of Evil is definitely a map that is always so much fun to set up on. I know the rituals can be very tedious, but it's just something cool about it. You know, just doing all the rituals, you kill the Margwas and you do the final ritual, stuff like that. It's really cool. And then you get the sword. The sword upgrade, although I kind of find it annoying at times because it's just really hard to do it. Like if you accidentally end a round and you're in the middle of a round doing like one of the steps for it when you're upgrading, it can be kind of difficult, but it's really fun. The Apothecary Servant was added into this map. It's the birthplace of it, and it's just so much fun. You know, you're like, oh no, I'm cornered. Oh, you shoot it once and you're solid. You're basically invincible with it, unless if you have like really weak reflexes. But yeah, it's definitely a fun map, and it's just a very beautiful atmosphere, 1940s kind of Chicago vibe. And yeah, there's nothing you could get better with it. The characters are also really cool as well. I wish that we could have seen them at least one more time, but unfortunately we're not, since, you know, the Aether's zombie storyline is over. So that kind of sucks, but it would have been cool to see them at least one more time, or at least have like a mention to them again. That would have been really cool. But yeah, Shadows of Evil, top of A tier, definitely. Alright, so now let's add a Black Ops 4 map. Let's do Blood of the Dead. I think Blood of the Dead, I haven't played too much of it, but when I do, I wonder how it would be ranked. I just think it's very hard to think about that they took one of the best zombies maps ever, Mob of the Dead, but made it like just not that good at all. Like, I don't know, it's just something that's like, I'd rather have it remastered than reimagined, because reimagining certain maps, what we've seen so far from Treyarch, hasn't been that good. It's basically half and half. It's like there's some good things about it, but there's some definite bad things about it. But with Blood of the Dead, they took out so many of the cool things about it. Flying to the Golden Gate Bridge to Pack-a-Punch does not exist in this map. Why? Why? Like, I just don't get that. That was such a fun thing about it. And plus, playing as the prisoners, you know, that's why I really wish it was like a remaster, because with it being remastered, they could have had those characters. But, you know, obviously, since it's supposed to be reimagined and that's supposed to follow the storyline, they had to change it to the premise crew. So I obviously get that for that reason. But it was just been so much cooler just to have, you know, something different. But yeah, I just think there was a lot of things that fell flat on there in Blood of the Dead. So I'm putting in D tier. Alright, next up. Let's go with the Black Ops 2 map. So we're just gonna skip Black Ops 1 and we can go to Black Ops 2. So you know what, we go from Blood of the Dead to Mob of the Dead. Definitely my second S tier. So I just realized I actually have everything in every single category here. That's pretty cool. Mob of the Dead, it's just, I'd rather play it than Blood of the Dead. If you were to tell me which one's better, Mob of the Dead 100%. The thing about Mob of the Dead, you have 4 gangsters on Alcatraz Island, and the map is just really cool. You can get the Vitrolic Withering, which is probably one of my favorite one weapons. It's the Blunder Gat, you upgrade into Acid Gat, and then you Pack-a-Punch it. Boom. There you go. You also have the Hell's Retriever and the Hell's Redeemer. Oh my gosh, dude. It's just so much fun to use. And Brutus is such a really cool zombie boss. And there's so many cool things about Mob of the Dead, and I would always come back to it. I really, really wish they could have brought it in Black Ops 3. But unfortunately, they held it out for Black Ops 4 and just somehow made it probably one of the worst maps, or not really the worst map, but one of the most disappointing maps ever. And yeah, but definitely Mob of the Dead, 100% S tier. And yeah, I don't think it belongs anywhere else besides S or A. If you rank it lower, I'm sorry, that's just dumb. Okay, so let's just do 5/classified. 5, I think I'd rather play it than see, I don't know where to put it right here. I'm gonna put it in C tier, not S tier. Oh my gosh, putting 5 in S tier. I'm gonna put it here in C tier. The thing about 5 is that in classified is that they're both pretty cool maps. 5, I'm gonna be like, you know, kind of like how it was with like Mob of the Dead, you know. It's like, I like the original cast. You know, you had John F. Kennedy, Fidel Castro, you had Nixon, and then I forget who the secretary is. I can't, McNamara, I think that's what his name. And yeah, just those characters, you know, be able to play as them, especially JFK having some of the best quotes ever in zombies. And yeah, and also just the whole vibe of it. The Pentagon Thief was amazing. I'm so sad they did not bring that back in classified. I know he was annoying, but that's basically like the whole map right there. That's something very cool about it. You cannot deny that. So I just think that, you know, 5 is probably a little bit better than classified, but classified kind of has cool things about it. I like how they expanded it a little bit more. It was definitely a map that had a pretty good reimagining, and yeah, and I also believe they improved the Winter's Howl. So yeah, but I'm gonna have to put in C tier because there really isn't too much going for 5 besides that. Alright, so let's go with the Black Ops 4 map. Let's go through the disappointing map. I think this is actually the last Black Ops 4 map that I actually have played. This is Voyager Despair, and it is kind of a despair. I think I'd rather play it than Die Rise because there's a lot more going for it. The thing about Voyager Despair that makes it probably one of the worst zombies maps is the fact that it's on the Titanic, but yet they blew the opportunity of like just making it such a beautiful map. The thing, like, it's such an amazing map. It's like you're on the Titanic, you know, it's supposed to be emotional, sad. You could have done a whole lot more things with like icebergs and stuff like that, you know, just make it more of a Titanic theme, but they didn't do that. They didn't. I don't get it. The Easter egg didn't really do too much as well. You're aligning planets. Yeah, we're aligning planets on the Titanic. Why? I don't understand. But yeah, I think it could be a pretty interesting map. I just don't, from what I've played, it's super close quarters. It's just not really as fun. When you compare this up to 9, I would always play 9 more. And yeah, so that's why I'm putting it in D tier. I think Blood of the Dead is better than it because, I mean, I don't know, I have a soft spot for like Mob of the Dead, so yeah. Alright, next up here, let's go with Ascension. So Ascension is a Black Ops 1 map that was remastered in Black Ops 3. Definitely a good map. I'm putting it in B tier. I think it might actually be better than Shang, but I'm not 100% sure because Ascension's a really easy map, and for me, easy maps are not my favorite. Just because it's like, I know it's fun and easy to get to high rounds on, but it's like Shangri-La is kind of like a map I have like a little bit more fun on because of how difficult it is. But Ascension is still a great map. The Thunder Gun's still in here as well. It's just an overall pretty cool vibe, you know, being in a Russian like I can't even talk, like Cosmodrome like area, stuff like that. You know, there's a giant fucking rocket, you could shoot that down, something so cool. I believe this was like an Easter egg. It also had an Easter egg. It's kind of like, it was basically kind of like the birth of Easter eggs, almost kind of like having like a little bit more of a meaning to it rather than Samantha's game in Duris. So I think definitely Ascension was kind of like the birth of that, but then kind of Call of the Dead really made it, and then like Shang and stuff like that. But I think Ascension is just definitely a good map. There's not really too much to it. It's just kind of a cool map. I don't know. I just like it. Putting it in B tier. Alright, next up here, we're gonna throw in, let's do Revelations. Revelations is an interesting map because it's basically all these maps, except for the Black Ops 4 ones and a couple of the other ones. Revelations, I rather play it than the majority of these maps. I'm just gonna be honest. I think actually Revelations probably better. Oh, dude, I really hate this because here's the thing. I'm a weird player. I really rank my maps based on how much fun I have and how much fun I'd rather go back to playing them. I think I might like it more than these maps. Actually, I think it's better than Kino. The thing about Revelations is that having the Apothecant Servant, having the Thunder Gun, and just, you know, your other weapon, it's just so much fun. You know, it's like so dumb easy. I know it's just saying like how like I don't really like easy maps all the time, but it's kind of like that dumb fun easy. You know, it's just like you could go in there and just have like a fun time. You know, I know, like, I think the world record for like, the starting room, like, with Mega Gobblegums is, like 130, or from, like, what I last heard, like, from, like, a year ago or two. And yeah, it's, like, it's just such an easy map. But, you know, the Easter egg, the ending of it was kind of boring, but it kind of was a really long Easter egg, so it's pretty interesting. And yeah, I do like the fight, though, like, kind of, it feels intense. It's definitely no Darius and Drag boss fight. I don't know why I never mentioned the Darius and Drag boss fight. I'm so stupid. That was probably one of the coolest boss fights ever of all time. But Revelations doesn't have the greatest one. So yeah, that's pretty much a letdown. It's kind of weird how, like, you know, the first DLC map had the best boss fight, and DLC is 3 as well. But the fourth one's like, man, dude, it just really sucks. I don't get it. You know, you're shooting the Shadow Man, and oh, just hold your action button on the Chronorium, and boom, it's the whole thing, guys. Wow, that's so cool. Alright, so next up here, let's finish off Black Ops 1, because this is the last map. Let's go with Moon. Moon is also another controversial map. I think Black Ops 1 has like a lot of controversial maps in it, both like Shang, Moon, and Kino, because it's just like people like put them like high up, and some people put them like super low. Probably Kino's a little bit more on the higher up side, but yeah, with Moon, I think it's definitely better than these maps. The thing about Moon is definitely the Easter egg. Holy crap. I know it kind of sucks, but the ending of it is totally worth it. After doing all of the RNG BS and bullshit like that, bro, it was so freaking annoying. I remember when I was first doing it, this was my first ever Easter egg I completed. I was so tired. I was like, please, just give me the QEDs, please. And I finally got them, and that was just the most relieving point. And I remember looking at my screen and just seeing the rockets go up and they're just heading towards the Earth. It's one of the coolest feelings ever. And that's definitely got to be one of the best things ever. That thing and Horizon Drac where you blow up the moon, it's just something surreal. It's just so amazing. The wave gun, the zap guns aren't really that good, but the wave gun, oh my gosh, it's a really fun wonder weapon to use. You also have the hacker device, which is a very amazing little utility item that just can do so much, which is really surprising. You know, if you go into Moon, if you were to tie it and name all the stuff that it does, you probably will miss at least a good amount of things, a handful of things. You know, you could reset the mystery box. You could I think you could refund perks as well. You know, you could give money to your teammates. You could take money away, I think. But it's just weird. It's there's so many cool things about it, and I kind of like Moon a lot. I know there's a lot of flaws with it, but you know, you got the astronaut. But the thing about the astronaut is that I think on Black Ops 3 they really fixed it, because I believe with Deadwire it one-shots it. So yeah, but yeah, pretty cool. Pretty good map. Alright, next up here, we still have 2 Black Ops 2 maps and 2 Black Ops 3 maps. Let's go with the worst one, I would say, is probably Zetsubo. The Zetsubo no Shima, I haven't played it too much, but I have played it a little bit. I think it's probably better. It has more content than Kino. I'm going to put it right there. Not really too much to say about Zetsubo. It's kind of like the middle of the road type of map. And yeah, but I forget the name of it, but it's your special weapon. I forget the name because it's such a weird name to remember. I think it starts with an N or something, but it's a really cool thing that you use. And yeah, I definitely want to play Zetsubo more though, because I actually haven't played it in a long time, so I don't really remember too much about the map. But just consider it's on Black Ops 3, and that there's definitely a lot more content on it than probably these other maps below it. And yeah, so I'm gonna put it right there. Next up here, let's do Buried. Buried is a map I really like, but I don't know. At the same time, I'm just not a big fan of it. It's a really easy map. The Paralyzer is really cool. I think I'm probably gonna put it. Should I put it in B tier? I think I should probably put it in B tier. I just don't know where to put it. I think it's better than Ascension. I think it's better than Shang. I think it's better than Kino. I think it's better. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's better than. I think that's where I want to put it. It's a definitely good map. The Paralyzer is a very fun wonder weapon to use, and it also introduced the Ray Gun Mark II, although it would have been cool if that was an exclusive, but I'm glad it wasn't. It was actually accessible through all maps, so that's great. And yeah, it's really cool. I like the map. It's unfortunate it never ever got remade. It's one of those very few maps. That Transcendent Dive Rise, I believe, are the only 3 maps that have not gotten a remaster of them. Or a reimagining of them. Those are the only 3. And I believe it's only Transit and Die Rise that have never made it to another game. Because Buried is kind of on Revelations, but it's just so weird to think about. And yeah, but Buried is definitely a fun map to play with friends and stuff, and pretty cool for solo, but it's nothing too crazy in my opinion. Alright, so now we are on the last 2 here. Let's go with Origins. I think Origins is definitely an S tier. The staffs, oh my gosh, I think that's probably the best thing about this map. The staffs and the beginning of the 4 wonder weapons, where each player gets a wonder weapon, you know, so it's no more oh, the one person gets the wonder weapon, you know. With this, it's boom, you know, you choose which one you want. I remember going to game chat whenever I played with random people, because I did that instead of playing solo because I was too scared to. I don't know why I did that. You know, you go in there and you say, oh yeah, I call the ice staff. I used to hate the ice staff, but I loved it. There's just so many cool things. Each staff is unique and very fun to use, you know. And the giant robots are a really interesting thing. This was the introduction of the Panzer. The Panzer's a pain in the ass, but you know what? It's so fun. You know, it's usually cool when you have your staff and you just charge it up and you shoot at him and just instantly kills him. It's just always such a satisfying thing, you know, the first time I see him. Alright, boom. Alright, you're dead. That was pretty simple. But yeah, and definitely the Easter egg on this map. If this map was created on Black Ops 3 and it had a boss fight, it probably would have been the best map ever. But yeah, I definitely do have it, like, I mean, like, objectively probably the best map ever. But because it doesn't have a boss fight and you just have to get like 100 kills in the crazy place, you know, that's just kind of where it falls flat for me a little bit. But yeah, so definitely it's a great map, and yeah, so it definitely deserves the S tier. Alright, now the last map, Gorod Krovi, last S tier as well. I'm gonna be rearranging them, so don't worry guys. Gorod Krovi, there's so many cool things about this map. You know, you got the whole atmosphere, you got the Easter egg, you got the Ray Gun Mark III, you got the Gauntlet of Siegfried, you got the Dragon Strike Command. Dude, there's so many things about this map that are so amazing, and it's just like, it's so cool. I don't want to keep on going on and on because it's I could go on for a long time talking about it, but yeah, those are just like the most amazing things about Gorod Krovi. Alright, so now I'm rearranging everything, so yeah, I'll see you guys then. Alright, so I think that I've kind of rearranged it. There are some things I just had to really think about. I was like, you know, alright, so I rearranged the S tier. So I think Dryson Drag is probably, the thing is though, is like, these 4 maps in the S tier could easily be any of my favorite maps of all time. You know, I play one of them, I'm like, alright, this one's the best one. Then I play another one, it's the best one. But I think objectively, probably it's gonna be Dryson Drag, Origins, Gorod Krovi, and Mob of the Dead. It's just, there's really fun. And then 5th would be Shadows of Evil, definitely. Yeah, I didn't change anything in A tier. I kind of already organized it. It was a pretty simple one. B tier, I had to do a little bit of rearranging. I still think Moon is probably the best B tier map. And then Revelations, Kino, Shang, and Ascension, those are just really good BO1 maps. Buried I had to rank a little bit lower, and Zetsuba had to rank a lot lower. And yeah, I also moved 5 up above Vrucht and Noct. I think, dude, I think I might like 5 more than Shin Numa, so I think I'm gonna put it there. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but yeah. So 5 is the best C tier, along with Classified, and yeah. So I think this is a pretty good list. I will be eventually adding these, and as well as Alpha Omega and Togder and Tone. I don't know if I can actually edit these. But yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys did, please leave a like, comment, so subscribe to the channel. We hit 100 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. That is definitely a great feeling. I really want to try and see how many I could get before the end of the year. My main goal would be to get 200. I don't know if that'll happen, but I'm going to be trying my best to do so. And yeah, and also subscribe if you want more zombies content, because I will be doing this a lot more. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.